So it's not uncommon for employers to think happy workers are more productive, but that might not be the case. Experts say the American workforce is shifting towards valuing life over working more, and this could be leading to a lower productivity for employees. For more, let's bring in Greg Ip. He is the chief economics commentator for the Wall Street Journal. Greg, Anne-Marie and I are looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah.
So what's behind the shift?
So I think that the pandemic really had this major effect on how we all think about work and career. I mean, first of all, we came face to face with this deadly event, and I think that probably gave us all a greater appreciation of just the pleasure of living and being with our family and so on. And then the switch to remote work made a lot of us aware of what was possible, that you didn't actually have to fight it out in a daily commute, get dressed up, put on your makeup and go to work every single day, and that you could perhaps achieve a better work-life balance by, mixing your life requirements, whether it's going to the gym or picking kids up from the office, better with going to work. And so we see this in polls now, where we see that workers, when they're negotiating with their employers, will often prize flexibility and hours over pay. There was a survey earlier this year by the Conference Board. It found that worker satisfaction was the highest since they began asking the question in 1987. And when you dug deeper, you find the biggest contribution to that happiness was an increase in work-life balance. The smallest increase was interest in their work.
Okay, then I have to ask you a question, because our lead-in was that this is leading to lower productivity from employees, right? Hold on a second. That's right. That's right. I'm pretty sure that I can Google right now and cough up all manner of studies that indicate that a happy employee with a healthy work-life balance, in fact, more productive. Stop. All those people who are working from home are not happy with you right now.
What she said.
Can you sort of play this out? Explain that to me, because I'm so sure we've covered studies that indicate the opposite.
Sure. So what's interesting is that at the very start of the pandemic, there were a bunch of studies that found that people, for example, who work in call centers or who wrote software code were actually getting more accomplished while they were at home. But I think what we now know is that a lot of that was because while you were stuck in lockdown, there was nothing else to do, so you worked more. A few years later, we've had more time to evaluate it, and what we're discovering is that, generally speaking, people at home, it's harder to communicate and coordinate with them. They want to work in the evening. Everybody else is working during the day. That there's less teamwork. There's less feedback. For example, software coders get fewer comments on their work when they work from home. And, let's be honest, there's distractions at home, I mean, why not go for a run? Why not hit the fridge? Stuff like that. What I find fascinating, though, is the complete difference of opinion on the part of the workers and the bosses. This group at Stanford University, they asked people the question, how much more productive are you? Workers say they're 7% more productive at home. Their managers say they're 3% less productive.
Wow.
See, I think people who work from home would arguably tell you they can't turn it off. They can't close the computer. They're constantly working.
Yeah.
Listen, the pandemic for me brought about a complete mind shift. Okay? My personal life is now as important to me as my professional life, and it used to be totally imbalanced. So, who would you say has the upper hand on this?
Right now, it's clearly the worker. Look, we are in a historically tight labor market. The unemployment rate at 3.5%. That's tied to the lowest in over 50 years. There's 1 to 1.5 vacant jobs for every unemployed person. And even though a lot of employers are skeptical of the value of working from home and greater flexibility, they find they have no choice that to hold on to their best workers, they kind of have to offer that. And this sort of explains this paradox about why happy workers are more productive. It's not that being happy makes you more productive. It's that if you're productive, your employer has to give you more things that you want to keep you happy. And those things might include letting you have more time off.
That's good.
So surveys show that employers are way more employers are offering paid time off. Way more employers are offering parental leave. Way more employers are offering the option to work from home. And it shows up in data that suggests that the average employee works fewer hours than they did before the pandemic.
Interesting. I don't know what to make of this, of your observations, but I'll take it. We did do a story recently about how the concept of the weekend is changing a little, David, and how it's kind of bleeding into Friday afternoon, Monday, a slow start, partially because of our ability to work from home and to kind of work from wherever. So maybe you might, take a long weekend. You're still working on Friday, but perhaps not as hard. So I always vote for happy.
And I know we're out of time, but I think employers are losing the upper hand on this because I think as the workforce continues to shift, Greg, I think workers are going to continue to have the upper hand. And employers are just going to have to meet them where they are.
Yeah.
Please, go. Last word.
Yeah. Just one last point. There's a lot of economists who think that once we have a recession, and one day we will have a recession, leverage will switch back to the employer and employees won't have it so good. I have to say, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
I think that now that employees have seen how good things can be, they might be willing, for example, to give up that next pay raise in order to retain that flexibility.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've seen a cultural shift. Greg Gibb, thank you so much.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks for having me.